Good morning, everyone. It is training day, 11 a.m. today in 3 hours. Don't lie to yourself training. Maybe one of the best trainings I've ever done. If you can make it, it's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully you can make it. If you can't make it, all of the trainings are featured on Spotify, Entrepreneur, and every platform. You can go to the playbook. It has its own playlist for training on Spotify, the playbook on Entrepreneur, Spotify, and all other things. We're going to pin up where you can join us for training. All you have to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. And if you haven't joined my text community, it's 949-298-2905. Let's start with some questions. We had a little difficulty yesterday. Thank you very much. What's the difference between quitting and pivoting? One is you treat pain as a stop sign, you're a quitter. If you treat pain as an indicator, a turn signal, you're a pivoter. You're indicating that you have a lesson to learn and you're going to angle towards something better, a better situation by utilizing the lesson itself to propel you into a better place. Remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're at the perfect place, the right place at the perfect time. You're angling with everything you have, that persistent pursuit, everything you have to what you want, angling towards it, but you have to have faith. When pain comes, suffering comes, you have to have faith to continue on to learn the lesson. Suffering is the process of learning those lessons, to finding the light, the love in the lessons. Pain is the indicator that you have a lesson to learn, to move in. And if you have faith, you'll end up somewhere better than where you thought you wanted to be. That's the key ingredient perspective of what I have. The questions are rolling in. Remember to bring your questions today. Training in 3 hours, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Stop lying to yourself. It's unbelievable research I found on lying to yourself and what we can do to stop it. How can we identify our limiting beliefs? Anytime that you have a quantifiable number tied to time, you're limiting yourself. If you have a quantifiable number tied to time, you're limiting yourself. I want to live to 111 years. Boom, limiting yourself. I want to make $1 million by March. Boom, you're limiting yourself. Just add the word minimum or just use the doubling philosophy. I want to double as fast as I can, as much money as I can make. Boom, that's unlimiting. That's infinity. That's living between as an instant, limitlessness and infinity, which is what we want to do. Excuse me. Keep it coming. Here we go. How to deal with training help and not competition. How to deal with training help and not competition. I'm not sure what you mean. So, how to deal with training, or help and not competition. Have an abundant attitude. Look, I want to change my, signature. It says res ipsa loquitur, which means that which speaks for itself. But more importantly, I want to, say that my job is a fishing instructor. That's what I really, people, instead of that long bio, I just want to have fishing instructor, because if we have more fishing instructors, we'll be fine. What does that do? Or what does that mean? I teach people to fish. I teach people to fish. I'm a fishing instructor. I'm going to empower you to empower others to be happy. I'm going to teach you how to fish for happiness and teach others to eat happiness as well. All right. Favorite water brand currently? Heart water, Alkaline 88. It depends on what type of water. Alkaline water for sure, Alkaline 88. Normal drinking water, of course, Heart water. Hint water is great. So those are all great. Jonte Hall, not too small. The smallest professional basketball player, 5 foot nothing. That's my boy. Welcome. I see you down there. We're going to be moving and grooving. We got some Hall of Fame talk today. What have you learned from your kids this break? How lucky I am. How lucky I am to have them. How lucky I am that they are learning so much from me of what not to do and what to do. How lucky I am. How grateful I am. How blessed I am. How healthy I am. How happy I am. How much I love them and how much I appreciate them. All of those things. All right. It's 8:05. And I have one of my old buddies on. If you don't recognize him, this good-looking guy, it's because he's so much smaller than he used to be. He's coming on here. There he is, the handsome Christian Okoye. Oh boy. Most people don't know, but you're The Rock's favorite football player. They actually, if you watch that movie, right? They named
Yes,
they named that ape Okoye. That's my man.
yes,
Anyway,
yes.
Christian Okoye, I was the first person to get his signature. It's probably the most told story in my speeches. He ran me over when I was a freshman in college, and he gave me a size 13. Is that what size shoe you wear? 13?
15.
Fifth? Oh, geez, I only got a 13 imprint. I must not got the full foot running me over. Anyway, former Nigerian nightmare. Now he's the soft, cuddly humanitarian, and he is no. You are not a nightmare to anyone. You are a dream. Running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, you must be so proud of and so happy. But where I love is you are the founder of the best Hall of Fame, the California Sports Hall of Fame, which I keep nominating myself every year. Someday I'm going to get in there. They're going to let the average Division III football player in there. I got to keep on doing the stuff off the field to make up for what I couldn't do on the field, like a Lee Steinberg. Anyway, give me an idea about the California Sports Hall of Fame. Like, who's in it and how do you get into it?
Oh man, we have about maybe 120 members now. We have people like Magic Johnson, Reggie Jackson, John Wooden, Tommy Lasorda, Bill Walsh. I mean, you name it. The
Eric
who is
Dickerson,
who's.
Warren Moon, Eric Dickerson. Uh,
Yes,
these are just people I've seen there. All the boxers, right? All the California world champion boxers. Oscar is
yes.
in there, I think, or isn't Oscar De La Hoya in there?
Not yet,
Not
not
yet. He's
yet.
nominated.
He's nominated. Yes, yes. The problem is that we have so many people in California to be nominated that every year after the induction ceremony, people will call and say, "What about this guy? What about that guy?" But you got thousands of guys.
Yeah, I have my
And
team calling every year. What happened? Put Dave back in there. But I know I'm young. I'm 52. I figure in the next 30 years, I just got to make sure you live long enough to keep my name around. That's the
yes,
key.
you'll be in there one day. You will, of
I'm
course.
working on it. It's a goal.
Yes.
It truly is. People ask me on my bucket list. It's a big one for me. It means that much to me. What are type of things though that you look for? Because there are thousands of great nominees.
Yes.
No joking aside. What are the things that you're looking for the winners?
Well, the what happens that because we have so many people in California, what I did was to transfer the burden to all the members. So every year before the induction, like maybe 9 months before, I send out messages to all the members, and they will do the nomination. And then we collect all the names nominated and we send it back again to all the members again for them to vote on the top 10 who they want to be in there. So that way, it's you don't blame anybody. You blame
Yeah.
the members.
Yeah, or give them credit because the
Yes.
winners are all the nice thing about the Hall of Fame is that nobody is shamed for not winning because just to be mentioned with the winners is incredible. It's so
Yes.
and what other things I recognize is you have events. The money that you raise also goes not only to the children. We have so many camps going on, but the awareness of all the critical issues that we have of how to use sports to empower people. Uh,
Yes, we have a lot of poor athletes out there. I mean, you have some athletes that they have you know, the um, the talent to go out there and perform, but the exposure is not there. So we try to create that exposure for them to go out there and do what they do. You know,
and
so that's our
nobody knows how to
focus.
do that coming from Nigeria into Azusa Pacific into the AFC's Player of the Year. You know how to gain awareness. Speaking of which, you sent a lot of money back home when you were playing and still do and support Africa as I do. I do a lot of work in Kenya and the Maasai and the Bogani, building schools. We built our first college in the Maasai, which is super cool. But you've done so many things to not only build your own community at home, but also provide opportunities to athletes and people to go to school in the United States because you were one of the first to figure out how to leverage the education into an extraordinary career. What are some of
Yeah.
the things that you've seen now that you've done it for so long Do you have any success stories or things that are going on that have provided, great success here in the United States?
Well, what gives me joy is that when I go to events, I always get one or two persons come up to me and shake my hand and say, "Hey, Christian, I came to your camp in 1995. I was living in a group home, and I'm gonna tell you, listening to Junior Seau, listening to Marcus Allen or Eric Dickerson at your camp really helped me out. It helped me focus. So that gives me joy and gives me the strength to keep doing what I'm doing. And now I have created a youth sports program in Nigeria, which is running year round. And doing it in America for all these years from 1990, it's just 4 years ago that I started this one in Nigeria, and it's huge, and people are so excited, and kids are so excited to get involved.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to help with is I think that we need more, especially California has its own world economy. I think stands alone is the fifth biggest economy in the world if California was its own
Yes.
country, which a lot of people want it to be. Anyway, I want to get more companies to acknowledge and to be aware of what you're doing, because I think that if we can get some corporate support into what
Yes.
you're doing, that we can take this model to the next level. What are some of the things that corporations that have worked with you have benefited from, so that more companies that I know that may be watching this, we have a lot of CEOs, looking for the right thing at the end of the year to give money to and to support. What are some of the benefits that companies have found over the years?
Just being involved would be huge, because Africa is such a very, very young area, the continent, that, I mean, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be benefited from in Africa. I mean, just look at the NFL, the NBA, you see the names coming out of Africa since I played for the Chiefs. It's just so many Nigerians right now playing the NFL. I think there are about 140 of them, Nigerians, that are playing. When I started
And
playing,
I
that
can
was
only pronounce the names of half of them. I still
exactly.
I cannot pronounce Akbar's last name if my life depended on it.
Yeah, yeah. You see, so I mean, it's just Africa is just still nobody has scratched the surface yet. There are just so many, and I'm just now getting into it, and it's mind blowing. So if any company can get involved with this, we want to build a school out there where kids can go in there and learn, technical professions and also sports, whichever one that you choose. You go in there and learn, and then help the world, and use your smart to grow other people's intelligence and stuff. So that's what we're looking for.
And one quick football question: watching what I think to be the most talented football team of our decade, and obviously a dynasty with a young quarterback that Lee represents, by the way.
Yes.
As a phenomenal running back yourself, do you ever watch today and say, "Man, I'd really like to play with these guys"?
Well, of course, because they're playing touch football today, man. When I played, it was gladiator sports.
Yes, it was. And could you imagine how much room you'd have when they have to cover Tyreek and Kelsey with the arm of Mahomes, and then all of a sudden they just hand it off to the nightmare? Oh,
Oh
the
my
yardage would be
goodness.
double.
I'll be averaging about 8 yards a carry. I
Yeah.
mean, I was talking to a ridiculous. He was saying the same thing. He was saying, man, if I play today, 2,500 yards is just the least I can run for a year. I mean, because watching him play, when he played, he was like a gazelle running
Oh yeah.
through elephants. So I mean, today's sports, and I like the direction it's going to, because it's safer for the players and they're making more money and so on. So things has to improve, and it is improving.
Yeah. But it sure must be a bittersweet thing to see that team winning Super Bowl after Super
Oh
Bowl.
man.
Yeah, to play on
And
there.
and the icing on the cake is that the owner gave the former players rings. So I got player ring, man.
That's that is awesome. Well, the Hunt family, like they say, the fish, it's either successful from the head down or not. And
Yes.
the Hunt family really knows how to take care of their players and of the community as well, which makes Kansas City such a wonderful place. Last thing real quick, where can people reach out to you, especially the executives at companies that want to get involved with you, the CAMS, the California Sports Hall of Fame? If you haven't been to the event, by the way, you talk about the Masters, you talk about the Super Bowl, you talk about Sports Spectacular or the Pump Brother event. The California Sports Hall of Fame, it is the who's who. And I went on Father's Day one year. I go every single year. And I was like, well, I'm going to go to support Christian. It's Father's Day. I did an early Father's Day with my family. And I went there and I thought I was the martyr. No, Tommy Lasorda was there, Eric Dickerson, Warren Moon. The guys all came out. Sugar Ray Leonard, I think. Isn't he an inductee as well?
It's not yet.
I got all my boxers and they're not in. I'm going to give up my spot this year for Sugar Ray Leonard. Anyway,
they get there.
Where can the people reach out? And I'm going to drive some traffic. I want people to support you and, of course, the Hall of Fame.
Well, you can go to CaliforniaSportsHallOfFame.org to learn more about California Sports Hall of Fame and when we hold our events. And for my Nigerian program, you can go to the ChristianOkoye.com for my foundation website.
Awesome. And it's Okoye is Okoye. Just ask
right.
The Rock. He'll tell you because Christian Okoye is his favorite player. And he's also mine. He's the best player that's ever run me over, even better than Vance Mueller. So
Vance Mueller.
Exactly. Anyway, I love you, Christian. Please keep in touch. Come back on. Whatever I can do to help you, I'm always here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me on. God bless you, my man.
God bless you. Have a good holiday. Thank you, my friend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Awesome. The incredible Nigerian non-nightmare now. He used to be the Nigerian nightmare. Now he's the non-nightmare. He is a cuddly, warm philanthropist that has changed people's lives. And he's not joking. I walk around and I mention, people, oh, you're friends with Christian Okoye. He changed my life. He got me over 100 people in the NFL from Nigeria. It's ridiculous. And he paved the way. Imagine how terrifying it was to come over here, started playing football, didn't know anything. We didn't get into the story, but knew nothing about. I'm not lying. When he ran me over, I think he was carrying the ball in front of him like this. He didn't even put it down. He just ran me over like a 4'5" running, 260-pound Olympian, strength, amazing guy, an amazing guest. Yes, Colleen. I hope Florida is treating you well. We miss you already. Jake the Bake here as well. We appreciate you. Very good. Remember, training starts here at 11, about 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. Don't lie to yourself training, one of my best trainings. If you can't make it, I know it's Friday, it's holiday season. All the replays are on Spotify, featured there, Entrepreneur, every single platform. You can find the playbook and find the playlist of the playbook on Spotify. All the trainings are there. If you want exercises, guides, or my book, I'll sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping for free, no problem. Then just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. It's pinned right here below. And 949-298-2905 to join my text community. Let's roll through some more questions. During my trainings, you can ask questions as well, which is really fun. How do I be patient being broke before graduating and getting a job? Don't be broke, man. Look, you got to find time, right? You make time, find 4 minutes a day. You got an extra 24 hours a year. You can make money with that. Start putting attention into not being broke. Don't look at what's missing in your life. You'll get more what's missing in your life. Don't look at the timing that, oh, it's going to happen when I graduate. No, start now. Start making money. Money is an energy. It attracts more money. That's why I love a savings account. It's amazing how I keep putting money in my saving account and it keeps growing. It keeps attracting more money there. Not into things I don't need, not into things I don't want, not into different things I don't want, not into things I impress people I don't even like, but the things I want and need, I attract it to. You can do the same. Learn to save. Jedediah, my friend, has a great program for your kids. Reach out to him as well. Big Jed and I were on a show yesterday together. Is it bad to compare ourselves with others? Comparison robs your joy. Look within yourself. Look within yourself. Learn from others. Don't compare. learn from others, right? So I learn, I find the light, the love, and the lessons in that person. They may act like I want to act, or act like I don't want to act, or be better than me quantumly at something, or worse than me at something, but I don't make the comparison. No comparison, judgments, or conditions. I'm seeking the light, the love, and the lessons, the superpower in other people, and taking those to be my best self, to pursue my truth, my potential. Comparison robs your joy. It robs your energy. Jedediah Collins, if you have some kids that need a little bit of perspective on saving and how to make money, you should reach out, my friend, to Jedediah Collins. Email me if you want his contact. He would love to talk to you. David at dmeltzer.com. Join me for training 11 a.m. today. Get the exercises, guides, books for free. David at dmeltzer.com. Join my text community, 949-298-2905. It's all right there, and it's all free. I will actually sign you a book for the holidays, ship it to you, pay for it. Don't worry, I'd love to give it to you. How to get inspired. Hold on one second. How to get inspired towards our goal in initial stages. So in the initial stage, this is almost a reverse of what I'm normally answering. In the initial stage, we want to get motivated, because motivation will get us started, get us restarted, get us up, get us back up. And we want to utilize that supercharge, that rocket fuel, to get us up, get us back up. And then we want to transition it into an inspiration, because motivation will get you up, get you back up. Inspiration will get you there. Inspiration will get you there. So in order to do so is lower the bar, get moving. Nothing happens until you move. Really stay consistent by enjoying the persistent pursuit of your potential. And if you can enjoy, find the light, the love, and less. Remember, everyone has the same amount of suck in their life. Everybody has the same amount of suck in their life. It's the people that are able to find the light, the love, and the lessons, and the suck, to learn to love what you do, live an inspired life, and transition that motivation by getting moving and propelling themselves with everything they have to get that energy going. Thank you for messaging me, David at dmeltzer.com. Valentine Morales, K. Valentine Morales, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it. Look at here. Let's get some more questions. Thank you for putting these in here, everyone. I really appreciate it. Would you read my message that I sent you? Where's the message that you sent me then? Maybe I missed it. Resend the message. I thought you emailed it to me, David at dmeltzer.com. All right, let's get real quick. Jamie King is on. Here we go. Jamie King, the owner of the Slay Coach, and teaches creators, coaches, course creators, women entrepreneurs, what I love. How are you?
Good. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I absolutely love your hair, by the way. I wish I had hair. I would do something very similar. For my Friday trainings, I'd come with a different color. I had a woman, I forget her name. She's super cool. She had yellow hair and like Charger blue lipstick. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I had long hair and could wear lipstick. I would, like, all my favorite games I'd go to that way. Anyway, you are the owner of Slay Coach, and I love the name Slay Coach. Why'd you name it Slay Coach?
So I was in the coaching industry as a fitness coach. That's how I started, right? And I was in this industry, and everyone just had their name and then coaching. And I was like, so boring. And I have always been never grow
Not boring.
up, always childlike wonder. And I was like, well, I want to, help women slay in all ways, not just their business. I want to help them slay. And I was like, what if I became the Slay Coach? So I created this like Lady Gaga-esque alter ego to like step into it when I really launched the business. And it really, made me feel more confident to become this, new person and step into that energy. And here we are 3 years later.
I love that. And the reason I brought it up is one of my favorite books is by Michael Herman. It's called The Alter Ego Effect. Right. And it's amazing because like I started putting, things on my body just to remind me. I wish when I was young and played football, I would have taken, like Walter Payton's football card and put it in my pad and my thigh or things like that. But I'm more on the sales end, right? I'm a sales slayer. And, I love to share visions, but I think that people can take on an alter ego in sales the same way they can as you teach people in coaching and creating. What are some of the benefits, that you have learned from, this transition of your own to give to, I talk about being a fishing instructor. That's what I am. I teach people to fish
I love
to
it.
get what they want. Right. So for you, your own dynamic of, this transformation, you now carry over into the lessons you teach. What are some of those lessons that have really benefited you in that transition?
So I grew up, and I've been following you for a long time. I grew up, I played sports my whole life. So Jerry Maguire was a really cool movie for me. And my mom worked for the U of L football team. So sports, athletics was always really much a part of our life. And one of my first mentors is Derek Anderson, who played in the NBA. He's from my city. He lives down the street from me. But I carry this lesson with me, and I quote him all the time. Even though it was something from childhood, it stayed. So I carry this on with my clients, and he taught me when I was, gosh, I think 12 years old. I was the only girl at his camps. It was always a bunch of little boys, and he ran these camps here in Louisville, where we're from, and it was right after he got his first NBA deal. And it was like, if you want to be able to shoot 10 free throws really well, you have to be willing to miss 100. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to practice. I'm willing to do 100. Like it was one of those fluke things where I'd like hit 10 in a row, and someone called DA over, and they're like, Derek, come see this girl. And I was like, oh, he sees me. And he was like, keep doing it. And then he pulled me aside and said that quote. And I was like, I talk to him now. We are still in communication today. And I tell him, that one thing you said to me when I was 12 years old, if you have to be willing to miss 100. And I know that doesn't feel good. And I know you were talking about this earlier on your live, but being able to pivot, it's not a stop sign. Keep going, go in a different direction, try something else, try something new, but keep doing it, because the repetition, it gets easier and easier over time.
Yes, for sure. And one of the things you do extraordinarily well is be productive, accessible, and gracious with your time. You're a mother of 3. You run a 7-figure business. You help multiple people. You live that great motto of mine of making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun. And people tend to look for advice on balance. And I don't like to ask that question because I believe there's weighted balances. I see people that can do and be productive like yourself, and accessible and gracious, that they understand time. What are some of the pieces of advice about how to be productive, accessible, and gracious with your time?
Yes. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about, especially time balance thing, is I can never get more time back. I can always go get more money. I can always go make more money, but I can't get more time. So I pay people really well, and I hire a lot of people. Whereas people starting off in their business might be afraid because they're new. Before I had any clients, I hired my first team member, and I paid her well. And I thought she charged too low. So I said, hey, why don't we take it higher? I wasn't bringing any revenue yet. I wanted to look like a serious business owner, and I wanted people to take me seriously. So I had to really step into that. I'm going to take myself so seriously because I believe so much this is going to work. And now it's like, well, how do you do it all, Jamie? Do you have like extra hours in the day that I don't know about? Like, do you ignore your children? I'm like, no, I actually, especially with the pandemic, I'm not traveling anymore. So I spent more time with my kids this year than I ever have. And our revenue increased year over year, even in a pandemic. And so I outsource what I'm not good at. And a lot of us, I'm a, reformed control freak. It's hard when it's your baby to let go of control. But if you pay people really well, if you make it a really fun place to be around you, to work for you or work with you or to build something, if you can get people behind the dream of what you're doing, the mission statement, and pay them well, they'll stay and they'll work really hard for you. And I use my money to make more money by paying people that do things that I don't have time to do.
Yeah, you have 2 great philosophies. One, money is a renewable resource, which I hear you say and do. And then, of course, you don't sacrifice in your life. You invest in yourself by investing in others, elevating others to elevate yourself. And you do it through your actions, which is beautiful. Now, you didn't have it easy. One of the things is you were a single mom at 20, and you had to have faith, especially at that. People look at us now and things are going well, and they're like, oh, easy for you to say, Jamie, you're killing it, but I think it's important is to understand that you're killing it because you didn't lose the faith that you had when you were 20. Now that you are successful, you're still applying that same faith to what you're doing. Explain your faith, and not in a religious sense, but in the sense that you're going to end up somewhere bigger, better, and help more people, make more money, have more fun.
Yeah, I'm not a religious person, but I have a higher power, and I integrate faith in a way that faith is not one dimensional. Just like when something is going wrong in your body, it's probably not just, let's not just cut off your arm. Let's figure out holistically what's going on. And so for me, faith is a multifaceted, multidimensional word. And if I have faith in my relationships, that's great. But if I only have faith in my relationships and I don't have faith in people outside of those relationships, then you're going to walk around on eggshells thinking everyone's going to hurt you. And so I'm a beauty school dropout. I got knocked up at 19. I'm from Kentucky, South Louisville. Like, I grew up playing basketball. Oftentimes, I grew up in a really low income neighborhood for the first 8 years. And then my mom got a manufacturing job, and it was like we hit the lottery, and it was like, we're rich. Like, I didn't come from money. I didn't have money. My goal was like to run a restaurant one day. And then I had a kid, and I was like, well, I don't want to work 60 hours a week. So then little steps. We have to stop trying to circumvent the process and start counting the little wins over time and keeping your faith with the little wins. That if you're not looking at the little wins as wins, your faith won't be renewed. So if we say, oh man, someone just congratulated me on that deal I just did at work, or someone just congratulated me on how well I performed on that call, or someone just congratulated me on signing my first client, or someone just congratulated me on graduating from school. Like, if you can count the little wins as you go, they add up. The compound effect, the snowball effect, it happens over time. But I didn't get here overnight. All of my corporate leadership experience, like why my business blew up so quickly, is because of how well I was polished for 8 years in the corporate world. I didn't have a college degree. I learned business through working in a major corporation and using that to fuel me with the little wins I got each year there, knowing that it was leading up to something bigger.
Last question real quick, coming from a type A personality, an aggressive, ferocious, persistent personality, the blend of patience is a difficult thing to adjust to. That, to celebrate those small wins, I understand. But when you have the pressure of being a young mother, of living in Kentucky, of working in the corporate world, just as a woman, with the different things and challenges that I've witnessed before you were probably born, to do that, I always find it, for me, a huge challenge, because we have very similar personalities, to be patient. Mm-hmm. Have you learned any aspects of patience that blends with that persistent behavior?
Man, this has been probably my biggest mastery. And when I could really, really, really fall in love with the moment, and people will say, oh, meditation's weird, or journaling is weird, or I'm like, I don't meditate every day. I don't claim to be this person that has this really crazy like routine to get centered or be present, or I'm a control freak. I'm a go-getter. Yeah, I've always been this person that was like, I'm going to change the world one day. But saying, well, how? Or like, but I feel so far away, and wanting it now. Like, I'm still in my heart of hearts, still like a 3-year-old that says, I want it now. Why can't I have it now? But my actions, that's my initial human thought. I'm able to transition that thought into, how can I fall in love with this process? How can I like and enjoy the process? If I don't enjoy the process now, can I change the process? And if I can't change the process, can I hire someone to do that process? Because the patience is in the moment. Because every time you're looking outside towards the future, all of our fears and anxieties and stresses lie in whether we're looking backwards at all the things that went wrong, the shame, the guilt, and all of our anxieties and fears are what could go wrong. If you can just focus on, or what isn't going right, or what if it doesn't go right, if you can focus on what you have in front of you, like the task of the day, or the project of the day, or the goal of the day, like, I'm going to hit this one win today, whether that be getting out of bed early, or whether that be working out for the day. If you can focus on the one win today, your patience will amplify over time. And I have 3 kids, and that has also taught me patience. I I don't say everyone needs to go have 3 kids, but you know.
Oh, I have 3 teenage daughters. That has polished my soul and helped contribute to my patients, of course, as well. But I also find that that innate pursuit that you have keeps you so present. In being present, we allow ourselves to be patient because we're only focused at the matters at hand. Taking inventory of your values, setting objectives of the what for the day are all things. You are living the right way in the right place. How can people find you and learn how to slay as a coach as you have so well?
Thank you. This has been so fun. It's been such an honor. So thank you.
Come back. Come back.
You're amazing. And I love what you do, and your mission is changing the world. So thank you so much. You can find me at theslaycoach.com. I've told this publicly to no one. We're rebranding our podcast January 1. So right now it's Chardonnay and Slay Your Business, but it will be Slady Boss Radio starting January 1. So
Lady Boss Radio. I love it. Well, you please keep in touch and come back and visit me anytime. Anything I can do to be of service. You are the type of woman that I want my daughters to be. So thank you for creating such a great role model. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Have a happy holiday. Awesome. Jamie and Christian, can you ask for 2 better guests? Inspired, says Colleen. Love your story. Impact Theory. One of my favorite interviews, Impact Theory, Ed Milet and I, Andy Frisella and I, Deepak Chopra and I. These are good interviews that you may want to look at. The Slay Coach is changing, but check it out, theslaycoach.com. Guess what? In about 3 hours and 30 minutes, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do training online to yourself. Get your guides, your books, everything for free at david@dmeltzer.com. Join me for training at david@dmeltzer.com. We'd love to have you. I have a text community that you always can join, 949-298-2905. If you miss training because it's Friday or because you don't really want to go or you're just, ready for the holiday, you can always watch the replays. They're featured. The Playbook is the podcast featured on Spotify. There's a playlist of the Playbook. Entrepreneur features it every platform. You could check it out, the Playbook. You'll love it. Go ahead, give me your comments, your reviews. I'd appreciate that. It is one of the top in the world. I'm number 1 in Tobago and Jamaica. Take that. I don't know why. Anyway, I appreciate everybody. Remember, training starts. Let's take one question and then we'll call it a day. Is a demand as good as sale for a new product? We are looking for investment but don't have sales. Quantifying the value of the demand is equal to actual demand. So if you can quantify the reasons, impacts, and capabilities of that demand, quantify it that it is less than you're asking for, go ahead, email me. I can help you with that in the presentation of it and the relationship and exposure. So go ahead, reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. But you want to quantify with credibility and emotional attachment the reasons, impacts, and capabilities of the demand if you haven't had the sales. It's nice to have pilots, beta tests, and other data that you can show and prove the reasons, impacts, and capability. But that's the key component to give you credibility to raise money at a fair valuation. Can you see any reason you won't want to move forward? All right, everyone, Friday training. Best part of my week as well. Thank you, RMI Inspections. Carlos Rassos, thank you very much as well. Dare to be better, thank you. But join me in a few hours, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't lie to yourself training. There'll be Q&A. You can ask me more questions. It's one of my better trainings, if not best, I've done. I should say so myself. You can get exercises, guides, books for free. Just, I'll mail you and pay for shipping a book. I'll sign it for the holidays for you or your relatives. Just reach out, david@dmeltzer.com. Texting numbers 949-298-2905. And most importantly, for my team and my ambassadors out there, to empower others to be happy. Remember, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you tomorrow.